Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night here on Northwoods TCG. Thank you everybody for joining in tonight. Hopefully you guys have had a wonderful weekend and going into a wonderful 4th of July. So thank you everybody for joining in. I'm just going to get my YouTube up and rolling real quick. Once again, thank you guys everybody as you guys start streaming in. Greatly appreciated to see you here this evening as we get started. Hey Gibble Slice, hey FOMO. Hopefully you've had a good week so far. Trying to open this up. Of course, cameras were being goofy. Had to reset my computer quick. Windows updates. Gotta love them. So then they lock out half my USB ports. So, yeah, here's what it is. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. So today we're going to be talking about the fun things that we keep hearing right now. Basically about the fact that people seem to think that the market's in a bear market. It's just kind of interesting to me to see SM Pratt put out a video. We had some other YouTubers talking about it that I'm not going to really point into them too much. I just want to have a discussion about that. James from Alamo City, good evening. Thank you for joining here this evening. Hopefully you've had a wonderful week so far. No, it's early, but hopefully you've had a good one so far. And of course most people in the United States at least will be having a short week, which will be kind of nice to get a little bit of a relaxation here. I know we're still working Thursday, the 4th of July, but we will be off on Friday instead. So it's kind of nice getting that little Friday vacation thrown in there. So once again, awesome. Little League's done, so now I can keep on track. We're getting everything back on track here on all the social media platforms now that we're done with that. So it's going to be a nice little change as well. Going to be good to get back into the swing of making sure I'm keeping up on content, trying to work on some things, doing some things like that. And same to you. Yes, happy soon to be 4th of July. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, I just find it very interesting that we see a little bit of a downturn in some of the products in the Pokemon TCG, and all of a sudden we're in a bear market. It's kind of just interesting how many different content creators have gone to that, and the market's slipping, the market's falling, we're having all kinds of market problems, people are, guys, it's market. No market stays going up forever. No market continues to move up. Now, a bear market, if we were to see a large value drop in things, yeah, I would be very, very concerned. But we see Brilliant Stars now, and that was one of the ones I looked and had heard about, was Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin. Both have had good retraction from their high points after they sold out on Pokemon Center. Once again, it's all correction. There's nothing that's standing out to me that I sit there and go, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. We're just seeing a lot of just market fluctuations, changes. People are buying because they see the market go up, and then they sell because they bought it, or maybe some of the people that had purchased in earlier. So, for example, that Umbreon V, the V version of the Umbreon that everybody was talking about, how PokeRev pushed it up in price and created this big bubble, was one example that I saw on social media of how that card went up to $250, and now it's settled back down at $180. Now, once again, every one of the graphs was something that I even talked about, is when you see market graphs go straight up in just soar, they always have a correction. They just, at 90% of them will have a correction, and that's exactly what we're seeing. There should be no confusion on that whatsoever. People buy when it's low. So people bought it at $80 and $70 and had it sitting in stock. And when it hit $250, they started to sell. And then they started to sell down in price. And then it hit $180, and now people are starting to hold and found that stable positioning again. And that's exactly what you see. Same thing with Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars sold out on Pokemon Center. People bought it at $144. It went up to $110, $120. So people were selling out of it because they weren't expecting that long-term hold on that large amount of product that they had. So then they sell down, and that creates a flood in the market, and then we see that retraction in the market. And you could say that for every single product right now in the Pokemon TCG. We are seeing that. Now, could we be seeing at some point the macroeconomy causing some bigger issues in the Pokemon TCG? Of course. I don't think we're going to be seeing that until election time. I think after the election, it's really going to be a roller coaster ride for how the U.S. economy, especially for the individuals in the U.S. market, how this will change and fluctuate, because everybody I talk to says big changes will happen after the election, and I truly do believe that. I think that we will be seeing some things happening in this U.S. market. Now, whether they'll be good things or bad things are yet to be seen, but in general, how this election turns out may really decide how well your investments and how well people are willing to spend into Pokemon and continue to spend into Pokemon. So, retractions, guys, are normal. Just because we see retractions in the market do not mean that we are in a bear market. It just means that we are seeing simple corrections in the market. We see it in the stock market. We see it in housing. We see it in every other type of market out there in the world. Don't sweat it. I mean, I keep continually hearing this and talking about it once again. It's just something that should be just taken with a grain of salt until we see some really big retractions or anything like that. But now we're seeing people move back to sun and moon. So if anybody hasn't been paying attention to tag team cards are getting a bit of a boost again. So it's like eventually what I predict seeing happen is that we are seeing it. It's that tag team cards and alternate arts and some of these other specialty cards in the Sword and Shield block are now starting to meld together in price. And what's happening is that we're continually seeing these bouncing back and forth, and we're continuing to see this overall growth in both of them now. They're starting to both stagger up, and it's like everybody moves from one side of the fence to the other side of the fence. So now tag teams are going up, and alternate arts and Sword and Shield are starting to go down and maybe stagnate or slow down on their growth. And that does not mean that either one of them are in a bear market. It just means simple supply and demand. The demand right now just switched the side of the fence. Tag team cards are now going up again a little bit. We're seeing some increase on those. What's happening is alternate arts are dropping. Now might be a good time to start buying into some of these alternate arts and watch them as they kind of slip down a little bit and find that nice level playing field that works really well for those particular cards. Some of them I think are still a little bit overpriced for their current market stature and where we are right now. But I definitely think that there are going to be some time in the future, near future here, to be able to jump in on some of these alternate arts again. Seeing them double, triple, quadruple in a short amount of time and watching graphs go straight up in value is just never a good thing to have overall when it comes down to graphing and when you're looking at the overall performance of products. Yes, 5 to 10% of them will do well and continue to cycle through and just continue up on that trend. But in general, we do see corrections. We're not in a bear market. I'm not seeing any indications of a bear market. I'm still able to see pretty steady sales through all of my platforms, whether it's through eBay, whether it's through TikTok, whether it's through TCG Player, whether it's trading in person and Craigslist, all of which are having very consistent sales for the summer months. Summer months are always slower too. That's another factor you have to take into consideration. Is just like me with baseball and that, I get pulled away. I get taken away from Pokemon and get put into more outdoors events. We got camping trips coming forward. We have all these things happening, and these are all factors when it comes down to how well these things will perform futuristically, where they will be. And bear market is just not in it. But it's just always interesting to me how quickly people especially the PokeTube world, like to just take things and spin them on a dime, like instantly, and make the markets just sound like they're absolutely crashing and going down like crazy. And it's just going to it's just kind of crazy to just continue to watch these channels just go. 1 week we're in a great market, everything's doing great, market's looking fantastic, everything's gaining in price, we've got really good footholds in this thing, everything's doing great. And then the next week they're doing a video saying the exact opposite. It's a bear market, everything's going down in price. My Sword and Shield booster box dropped by $20 when it went up by $300 in the last week. It's a bear market. I don't know how we're going to get out of this. It's over. If you haven't invested already, it's too late. You can't get into investments now. It's going down, and it's like you sit there and you just shake your head going, these are individuals that don't understand markets. They don't understand how things work, and it just keeps showing once again in a lot of them that's occurring, is that these are individuals that don't necessarily understand that markets have ebbs and flows, and they have gains and they have retractions, and supply goes up as the price goes up, so the demand doesn't keep up with it and the price retracts, and then a little bit later the prices go up and then it jumps back up, and it's ebb and flow. I mean, there's no market should be just straight up, and it shouldn't be straight down. We should see gains and valleys, peaks and valleys all the way through these times, and you should see as much as the profit goes up, the people that bought low are now selling, which then of course increases supply into the chain, and that supply then starts to retract and start pulling down on that price, because now there's more of that particular product out there, and you see these retractions in those particular products. So overall, just a lot of things that are interesting that I continually see, and it's just really funny to me when we talk about bear markets. And Gimbo Slice, I just saw people were talking about Japanese 151, dropping down to where it is, and that's another one that always kind of makes me laugh, because you can't control Pokemon at the end of the day. It's another perfect example of how Pokemon can just decide to reprint something and let that be a tale to these people that were buying that at 150 thinking that they were going to have good investments. Is that it takes time for these investments, and you got to let it get past the point where Pokemon's willing to reprint something before you really call it an investment. Otherwise, it's just speculating. You're hoping at that point in time that they don't reprint. And as we just saw, Pokemon will have no problem reprinting a product to the ground if they feel that the market can take it. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Pokemon 151. Is it a good bad time to jump into the Japanese 151? No, I think that there's some really good times, and that Japanese is going to go really hard. And overall, I think that it's going to be a good set in the English side. A Japanese 151, I think, will do well. But now I'm hearing words, and I don't know what the truth is. I was going to spend some time talking to some people in the Japanese markets. I heard they announced another reprint of 151. So if that's the case, the price of that is going to go right back down to MSRP for Japan, which is around, what, $45, $50 for that particular one. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, we're already at like $52, $55 for a booster box, and once they supposedly announce another reprint, that sounds like they just it's dropping like a rock. So people are definitely being concerned by this, and it's definitely something to be watching for. But once again, just because a set gets printed to the ground does not necessarily mean that you have a bear market. It's very much, to me, it's a good bullish opportunity, especially on 151, to really get in on it and really push some money around into that set if you think that it's going to do well long term. I do. I think it'll be a fantastic set futuristically, because you're still going to have people our age coming back as time goes on, and they're going to want to chase 151. They're going to want to get in on that set, and the only way to do so is going to be whatever stock that the investors and the long-term holders have in play, not what is going to be available in the market in another year or two, because it will be all gone. That's the factor, is that it will disappear off the market. It will go into private collectors. It will go into long-term hold people. I still see a lot of it being opened up on streams. Even myself, 151 is great. I still purchase it and open it on stream, because people love chasing that Master Ball chase. They are still on that Charizard chase. There are still Blastoise that in the God Pack chases now. People are really into God Pack chases right now too, which is available in the Japanese 151. So it offers a lot of different outlets when it comes down to excitement and fun for the opening side as well. Granted, you're not charging $9 a booster pack like they were before. I mean, you're down to a normal price around that $3, $4 range for them particular booster packs, but people are enjoying it still. And that means the streamers are still opening a ton of that product. And if they are continuing to open a ton of that product, then it's going to slowly disappear off of the market. It's just going to take time. And if there's another reprint coming, like I heard potentially coming, that's definitely going to be a factor as well. Overall, guys, I think the market is just the market. We're in the slower time of the year anyways. If you want to call it, summer is always going to be a bullish market when it comes down to Pokemon. People are more focused, especially in the English market in the United States, Canada, in UK. All these areas are in their summer months. So basically, we're all outside. We're doing baseball. We're out camping. We're out fishing. We're out doing our stuff. Usually, we will start seeing an uptick again in fall. That's going to be our next flow, is going to be coming into like October, November, as we're getting closer to that Black Friday sales. And coming close to that Christmas time, we will get another big push, another flow of people and money coming into this hobby. So there are just time. It's timing. It's nothing crazy, Anytime we see a downtick in any of the products, it's like we get all these videos with the red arrows going down, the market's failing, everything's going down, it's a bear market. Don't listen to it. We're in a standard market. Everything is still moving really well. November will really be the turning point for where we'll be when it comes down to the investment side of things, and the market itself. How well it's going to hold will really be at that point. When people start coming inside and when we get closer to Christmas time, if our performances start dropping a little bit and when I'm not seeing the sales comparatively to last year, then I might start getting a little bit concerned. But currently, sales are actually still up a little bit from last year at the same point in time, with me not changing much inventory. Yes, so I know we got Worlds coming up. Things are changing on the single side, especially on the bulk side. Singles are still going up in price or selling really well, especially if you have some good reputation behind you. They still sell a little bit better. We still are seeing cards, even like that Greninja EX, coming out of newer sets that are doing really well. I mean, $225 currently for that Greninja EX SIR. It's a huge jump. It's a huge boost when it comes down to that particular card as well. So we're starting to see some of the Scarlet and Violet sets really starting to get some traction as well. And that pull rate is definitely going to be a good, important factor to those particular sets. And that's what we are really seeing is that they are finally getting traction because of the fact that these pull rates are getting more difficult. And the more pull rates we have, that gets that hunt, and that hunt starts to come in, and we really start seeing some really big things moving forward on that. So overall, definitely some really good things happening right now in the market. Overall, I think that we're in a really good place. I'm not seeing really any big cracks. I mean, heavy reprints on 151 Japanese is one of the cracks I see. But once again, you can't control Pokemon Center. You can't control the reprints that they're going to do. You're just at the whim of whatever Pokemon Center does or what Pokemon International decides to do. And that's not really a cause for a bear market. I'm looking at like even Sword and Shield products, tag team products. Now we're seeing tag team products go up again. We're seeing that pushed bear. So that means that the grouping and the people just moved away from Sword and Shield and they jumped the fence, and now they're over on this side of the fence where the grass is greener because the prices are a little bit cheaper comparatively on older products that are probably and are a little bit more scarce, in my opinion, than a lot of the Sword and Shield alternate arts. So when those prices start to become equalized, they jump back to tag teams. Tag teams will take a little bit of jump, and then they're going to jump back, and we're going to see it do the same thing when it comes down to the overall, when we see it go to the overall alternate arts of Sword and Shield. We're going to see them keep bouncing back and forth, I feel. I don't think either one of them are going to separate now at this point in time. Their pricing is going to find itself and be very competitive between the tag team cards and the Sword and Shield alternate arts. So Sun and Moon tag team and Sword and Shield alternate arts. You know, even the Sun and Moon alternate arts, they're all starting to blend together. They're all starting to become similar pricing. Right now, if you were to take all them cards and put them out together, their pricing is becoming pretty flat, except for we got some peaks with like the Moonbryon, and then you got like the Gengar, Mimikyu, the Latios cards. Of course, you get some breakaway ones inside of there that have some very big popularity. And overall, it's just really interesting to see YouTubers, and especially people talking about the market, some of them, how much they freak out and try and throw these red alarms up there about issues that are in the market that they just don't exist. They're not there. That's not what we're seeing when it comes down to these. So, but that's what I got, guys. Like I said, we're getting close to 20-minute mark. I didn't have a ton. I just wanted to really bring up the market part of it because, just like always, the market is the market. It's going to ebb and flow. We're going to see up and downs. We're going to see pricing increase and then that pricing be retracted just because of the fact that, you know, you get more supply. The price doubles, quadruples. That I was selling singles too. So I'm starting to sell down on some of the ones I bought at that Moonbryon, or the Umbreon V was a perfect example. I had 6 of them. I sold 3 of them. Why not? It went from I was buying them at like $68 a piece. And now I'm selling them. I sold them at like $220, $230. Why wouldn't I sell half of them? I'm going to just put money in my pocket and be ahead of what I paid for them originally. So it just makes sense. And that of course, causes that market to drop a little bit because now me, who was personally holding 6 of those, now just threw 3 of them into the market. And I'm not the only one that did that. Thousands of people did that. And that's exactly why we see those examples happening on all of these market pricing. So, and that'll continue to happen over and over and over again. Nothing's going to change. And once again, I would not be concerned right now. We are not in a bear market. We are very much in just a standard reciprocating market. We're getting those ebb and flows. We're getting those up and downs. We're getting those peaks and valleys. And peaks and valleys are really, really good. I love seeing peaks and valleys in the market. It means it's a stable market. When we see straight up or straight down, we are not in a stable market. That is not signs of a stable market. When we were seeing Sword and Shield alternate arts shoot, you're not seeing a stable market. That is actually a good sign that we will have a correction and that there will be some instability in the market. So instability after that is normal. We're going to come back in, and now we're going into a valley. Hopefully we see a good peak and everything will balance out. But Thank you guys, everybody, for joining. Once again, I'm just going to jump through the chat and just say hello, and then I'm going to go through the questions like I always do. I did see a couple questions up here from some new people, so bring me the Koridon. Thank you so much for joining. If you're still here, I do answer questions. I usually do my 20-minute rant typically at the beginning of the live, and then I go through all of the questions afterwards just so I can stay on my train of thought and not lose it. Because I can get distracted very easily. But thank you for joining me, and I will answer your questions. But thanks for joining in the live. Glad to see you here. Slug Nasty, thank you so much for also jumping in. Glad to see you here on the live again. Always a pleasure to have you on board. And then we did see Son of a Merc pop in here at the end. Salute, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad to see you in here this evening. Glad to have you aboard. So we're going to go into the questions. And, of course, the first question that I do have here is coming from Bring Me Koridon. Not really. It is a question, but he had two comments here that I kind of want to talk about. Talk about Pokemon cards and the election. I don't talk about politics typically. I don't pick sides. I don't do that. But I will talk about the implications of an election because that could be a big factor when it comes down to the overall performance in the Pokemon TCG, along with my business, along with my farm. It has overall long-reaching implications for everybody. So it's definitely something to be mentioning, but I will not talk political parties or where I stand on that. I just will tell you that there could be implications from it, and it does affect the Pokemon market, whether we like to think this so or not. Bring me the Koridon. Do you have a physical location? No, I do not. I do everything online. I am strictly online only, so I do TikTok sales, I do TCG player sales, and I also do eBay sales. So basically, a lot of my stuff is all online. I pretty much don't do anything when it comes down to a physical location. Possibly partnering with someone for a short term to get them going, maybe has been in the talks, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that either. It's just, I don't know if I want to get into the physical location stuff. It's just not been my cup of tea. And the problem is that if I get tied up into a physical location, that's going to make me be involved into it more than I really want to be. So I definitely am leaning on the no side of ever having a physical location. But we'll see what happens, where it goes. There's some, I'm talking to someone about it, but it's probably not going to happen. Evolving Skies finally broke 700, and I think it will steadily climb back up after a stagnation, thinking 900 by the end of the year. I could see 900 by the end of the year, possibly. I think we'd be more likely to see 900 to 1,000. Like Jimbo Slice said, I would think by next tax season. I could definitely see that box being about $1,000 next tax season, just with people getting income tax returns. Definitely going to be an opportunity at that point. I don't know if it's going to have enough push and drive to do it pre-Christmas because a lot of people don't have that much money left in their bank account, so that's really going to be a factor. Gimbo Slice, I missed the Japanese 151 bottom, I think, because I'm broke at the moment. I don't think you did, because if we're actually going to be seeing a reprint, so if I go into eBay right now even, you can still, let me see, booster box. I know on TikTok you can still get them for right around $55. So you're really not too far off the bottom. I do see on eBay they're going up a little bit. So we're about $60, $63, $62 right now. So they've gone up a little bit on eBay from the 55. I can look on TikTok real quick, but TikTok was going, so there's 12 in a case. Let me see on that one. So sometimes if you buy case quantities, that, and if you contact individuals, you actually talk to individuals about it, you could actually get them from suppliers. eBay might be going a little bit more too because they're figuring they got the 13% fee as well. So yeah, right now eBay, you can get a case of them for about $61 a booster box right now if you buy a caseload. But I do know if you contact like Instagram and that and talk to those individuals, there's definitely some opportunities to get them still under that price. So just keep that in mind, that if you are interested in purchasing Pokemon 151, do a little bit of research. Go look for some Japanese sellers on Instagram and on some of the Pokemon sites on Facebook too, because they'll give you a little bit better price because they don't have to pay 13% as well. So there are still some opportunities. I still see listings on my Japanese suppliers on Instagram for $55, $60. I know TikTok, you can get them for around $55 to $58 roughly from what I was just looking on my phone. So yeah, it's still coming. And if they are doing another reprint, you are nowhere near the bottom. I think we might see another drop because I've been hearing rumbles that there's another announcement of a reprint for it. So I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't had time to do the research. I was going to get a hold of a couple of my places and find out. So let's see. We have It's like nasty. How's it going this evening? James from Alamo City. Japanese is a bear market due to the economy and the supply and demand. Exactly. If you want to talk about Japanese, yes, their economy is a perfect example of what we could potentially see in the United States after this election. Just FYI, not trying to put fear in anybody, but the fact of the matter is that I'm hearing from many sources in the financial world that the bear market could become we could see a similar market to Japan after this election, and you're right, supply and demand can really be a factor for that as well. When you're looking at what we're seeing currently in the Japanese market, this oversupply of 151 is causing a little bit of a bear market, but it's recovering. It's eating it up. Hopefully I don't get too big of a third reprint on that, or hopefully a third reprint doesn't happen. Because I think the pricing is pretty good for what it is. Let's see here. We got Gimbo. Hopefully it stays cheap for a few months at least. I think you're going to be good for a few months. You're going to be under $80, I think. Right around $80. Worst case scenario, in my opinion. Gimbo. Sorry. Jumped. I already was there. James from Alamo City. You can get 5 booster boxes now of 151 that wouldn't cost the price of one booster several months back. That's why people should never FOMO. Well, that's exactly it. That's why even myself, I didn't buy into it because I didn't feel safe, and it wasn't, so I was willing to just let it go. Once again, sometimes being able to judge a situation, not FOMO, and make the intelligent move in investing to say, I'm too late and gonna let it go, and just not invest can actually be very beneficial to you in the long run. And this Pokemon 151 is a perfect example of it in Japan. If you would have been worried and feared that you were going to miss out, and that if I didn't buy it at $150, or if I didn't buy it at that $200 price, that I was going to miss the opportunity to get that particular product, you bought into it, and now you just missed, and you could have bought 4 to 5 boxes for the price of that one at $200, is a perfect example why FOMOing can be very bad. Sometimes in the investing, if you're looking at this as strictly an investment and looking at the investment side, FOMOing can be very bad. It's very, very harmful to your overall investment. And knowing when to just watch something go away is important when it comes down to investing. Understanding that you missed, and sometimes in investing, you're not going to hit them all. Gimbo, a perfect example, saying that at the moment he has no money. Perfect example of sometimes letting that ship sail, and not, if you don't have the money now, just wait. There'll be the next thing. Pokemon has got the beautiful track record of always giving us the next thing, and being able to capitalize on the next thing sometimes at a better price is going to give you better opportunities than jumping in hype and FOMOing and jumping in on these products like Pokemon 151 at $200, because sometimes reprints happen and it draws the price down. Sometimes it loses interest because another hot item comes out and they shift the money and the price drops because the supply is still there. A lot of things can occur, and sometimes it's amazing to me that if you miss some of these opportunities, just waiting how it can actually circle back and help you in the long run and give you an opportunity later on in time. Gimbo, let's see here. Do you think some of the Sword and Shield sideways auctions is that they jumped so much and now everybody buying it up for $9,100 a box 6 months ago is selling? Exactly. That's exactly what's going on, Gimbo. I mean, every one of us has done that, where we bought them, we bought them a year ago at $115 a box for Brilliant Stars and Silver Tempest and Astral Radiance and Lost Origins. And so we're taking some of that product and we're starting to push it out the door and go, I can make really, really good money when it hit $225, and we're pushing it out, which of course increases the supply. Increasing the supply means that we're not necessarily meeting the demand anymore. We have too much supply for the demand, which means people don't pay as much because there's too much out there, and you just continually have this little landslide effect where, well, now people want to sell it before it drops too much, so they start lowering the price, and then they continue to lower the price to where we are today. And that's exactly what you're seeing. That's exactly what's going on. That's exactly the whole instance of, that's with the singles market right now. That's with the booster box market. That's with pretty much all the markets right now that we're seeing retraction in Sword and Shield in this current market. Is people are pushing out product because they see an opportunity to double up on what they paid for something. So why not? They doubled up, and now they're pushing stuff out. James from Alamo City, skipping Shrouded Fable ETBs and auxiliary products except for their Greninja and the other 2 collection boxes. PC missed the mark on the releasing the specialty set without having those promos was as a chase. Yeah, and they do that all the time in them specialty sets, which kind of sucks. They always take the promos. They always take chase cards and make them promos, kind of like they did in Pokemon 151 with the Mew and Mewtwo. Putting them as promos inside of the box were just really bit. Because I know even myself, I was looking forward to chasing that Mewtwo and that Mew, and come to find out they just gave it to you as a promo. The other thing is, too, is that I am not dumping too heavy in the Shrouded Fable. I think Shrouded Fable, personally, I'm buying some from wholesale just because I'm going to be ripping it. People do have demand on the rip side for the first couple weeks. I just don't know if that's going to even do as well as Paldean Fates, personally. I think that this one could be a potential to be sitting on some booster boxes for potentially a long period of time. Do I think it's a decent set? It's all right. Overall, looking through it, I mean, you're going to get a couple trainer chases inside of there, of course. But in general, it's just kind of a blah set, personally. I think, like you said, the promo boxes, the Greninja boxes, are a perfect example of potentially doing really well. And I think there's some good opportunities in those, like the Greninja boxes and some of those collection boxes. But once again, I think that that's going to be right away. If it's something that you're looking at for a long-term hold, it's another one of them items I think that you could hold for a long period of time and just wait it out. And I think you're going to get good opportunities on both the collection boxes and the ETBs. I already see ETBs. The last time I was checking on Pokemon on eBay for it, it was like still like same thing as what we were seeing with Paldean Fates for $39, $38 an ETB. So I'm going to look real quick. Because I like giving right numbers, and it's a good time in the live to be able to do that. Shrouded Fables, ETB. Let's see. What do we get? So they went up a little bit since the other day. So they're $45 currently. So they went up a little bit, which is a little bit more, I guess, a little bit better to look at when it comes down to these particular products. That means that they might not have printed it as heavy. I do know that there was a short window for purchasing it, but yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, that means that maybe Shrouded Fable will have a little bit more demand when it comes down to it. But yeah, we're at $45 currently, so you can buy a case of 10 of them for, well, here you go. So $38. So you can buy 10 of them in a case for $38. So $4.50 for 10, $4.50 for 10. There's a couple of them at $33.79. So there's a couple of them right there for $3.79. But yeah, it looks like about $45 overall. So let's see. So James from Alamo City. Andy, do you think that it's more market manipulation with the Greninja EX price being at $232 right now, or more based off the rarity or popularity? See, I've got that Greninja right here, and I was actually going to take a look at it because, I mean, I know that it has a fairly decent attack on it too, but I haven't seen very many decks use it, even the regular Greninja. So I'm just looking, it says here the first one is just with one water energy, which is nice. You get the 170 attack. You may search your deck for this card and put it in, or for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So you can get a free card. So it's kind of like the Pidgeot, but you get an attack on top of it. Discard 2 energies from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponents. So that's the one nice thing that I did know about it, is that it does a bench attack. So it puts a pretty heavy bench attack on there, which is nice with 120 on the bench attack. But but yeah, we were going. But overall, do I think it's market manipulation, or do I think it's demand? The other thing we need to look at before we make that decision is going to be pull rates of that. So if we look at Twilight, Masquerade, and let's look at pull rates. So let's look at TCG player pull rates right now, because a lot of times pull rates can give us a feel for what we're looking at on this particular one. And they're saying here, so just to give you an idea, Twilight Masquerade. So basically, to get a secret rare, I'm just looking, so a hyper rare, so any kind of special illustration rares, You will get a special illustration rare in 1 out of 86 packs. Hyper rares are going to be 1 in 146 packs. If you're looking for a specific SIR, so if you're looking at that Greninja, for example, the Greninja is going to be a perfect example of it, where it's got a 1 in 900. So a specific SIR, you got a 1 in 941 pull rate on that particular card. So once again, you're looking at a pretty high pull rate. Even that EV card is running about what? So for example, the EV card, so the illustration rare, that EV, is running about a 1 in 272. Now, to put that in perspective, the SIR Charizard out of Obsidian Flames had a 1 in 312. So when you look at that for the pull rates, now let's just take a look at that for pull rates. When you look at this particular product and that particular card, your likelihood of pulling the Charizard out of Obsidian Flame is very similar to the pull rate of the Eevee, and we're actually seeing that in the price as well. The price of that is pretty comparable. Now we take a look at, so if we go back to Twilight Masquerade and we go in and look at TCG Player. So if I go and copy Twilight Masquerade, just make it faster so I don't have to type it out. I'm just going to copy it and put it in here. And we type that and throw it in a TCG Player. We look at the top 10 cards right now. So if I go into here and I go product lines and I just go into Pokemon and product type, and we're going to go cards. So we're going to narrow this down to just the cards. And we're going to look at the top cards. Another way you can kind of determine whether or not this is product manipulation. This is what I do when I'm trying to decide that. We actually take a look at the product lines and we look at the actual, what we're looking at for pricing at these particular cards. So the Eevee is about $50. It's the same price about the SIR Charizard, like I was saying. You got that Blood Moon Ursaluna is sitting at about $50 as well. You have the SIR Perlin, which is sitting at about $75, and then you've got the Carmine SIR, which is sitting at about $102, and then you got the Greninja, which is the big chase out of this particular set, and there is quite a few of the from that generation that do like Greninja. So on top of it, you have a generation that does like Greninja as a starter. So it is a starter Pokemon. It is a popular starter Pokemon. A lot of people do like Greninja. It's been very popular in the past. Even in celebrations, we saw Greninja have some popularity as the promo inside of the celebrations products. You're running at about $230 on that particular product. Now, do I think that there's a lot of product, a lot of manipulation on that? I don't know, and I don't think that it's as much manipulation as people are trying to put on it. Do I think that there's some? Yes, but I think FOMO is probably your more likely culprit for the pricing to be what it is. I think people are afraid of missing out. They are seeing the pull rate of 1 in 941, which is a very high pull rate. I mean, you're pushing up to the harder chases in like Sword and Shield at that point, which is more of what we're used to for high priced. So, for example, another good one to look at was, of course, the Moonbryon was 1 in 1,200. The Chunkachu was like 1 in 1,200 packs. You had the Lugia V, which was like 1 in 800. The Tina is like 1 in 1,200. So, overall, you're looking at that really high pull rates on those ones, and the pricing is looking very comparable to those particular cards on release. Once again, Pokemon's created a chase again in a product. The chase, the hunt, the FOMO on this particular card, I think, is more of what's going on, more than I think it is market manipulation. That's just my feelings. Just like anything, I'm sure there's people out there trying to manipulate. I'm sure there's people trying to do something to try and get that manipulation in there. I think overall, if you were going to be looking for product manipulation, I would look at them trying to manipulate it down, personally. If I saw some listings down at like this, 160, kind of like we saw with the Celebrations UPC. We had people on TCG Player listing them and selling them low. So they were doing that, reciprocating to try and draw that price down. We might see that happen on product manipulation rather than it going up, because it's just been consistently up there about that $230 mark. I mean, that's just my feelings. When I'm seeing pull rate, you have a starter Pokemon, you have all that stuff going on. I definitely could see that being less product manipulation, and it's going to be more just organic growth because of pull rate, FOMO, hype of this particular card. All of these things are creating that draw up on this particular product. That's just kind of what I'm feeling on this one. So A-Spec cards 1 in 20. If you're looking for a specific, it's 1 in 119. Ultra rares. Ultra rares here, we're looking at the ultra rares are 1 in 15 or 1 in 318 for a specific ultra rare. So that's going to be your full arts or your regular illustrator or your regular trainer cards, full art trainers. We're looking at illustrator rares are 1 in 272. So you're actually more likely to pull an illustrator rare. 1 in 13 is about the pull rate on that. So, you know, the gold cards, hyper rares, are actually pretty high too. They're 1 in 879 or 146 pull rate. So once again, gold and the illustrator rares are definitely holding the top spots right now on there. But yeah, that's my take on it. Just the breakdown of it, what we're seeing, the pull rates, the hype, the FOMO. I don't think it's so much market manipulation on this particular card. I think that this is more just hype, FOMO, starter Pokemon with some popularity behind it, just driving this thing forward right now. Now, will it hold this price? I don't think it'll hold this price. I think we're going to see a retraction on this card. It's just too straight up right now. I mean, we've gone from 130 to 230 in a straight up trajectory. So if you were able to pick up these Greninjas around that $150 range, I would be considered selling them to try and get out of them now while you still got an opportunity to make some profit on those. That'd be my feelings. Son of a Merc likes to thank you so much for joining. Bought 10 or so SB Arcanines Cosmic promos to pre-grade. All were perfect condition, but print lines ruined me. Yeah, I had a few of those too, looking for it, and I think that that's probably why they're so difficult to get. And a 10 is because the print lines on those particular hollows is absolutely horrible. Round 2 on the way. Try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? Besides Temporal and Paldean Fates, I'm saving for the later sets, besides some singles here and there. Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet. I'm personally not pushing much into Shrouded Fable. It doesn't ring very well. And I think they're going to be a little bit better in Paldean Fates, just because I think the print amounts are down. But, I mean, the amount of ETBs released is down. But, once again, it's just, I don't know if I would be jumping into it personally. I think that there's going to be time on that one. I could see that one even staying around that $40 range for quite a long time. I'm just buying it because partially I'm buying it from the distributor just to put it in for sale. So I'm going to be selling that and trying to rip and ship that. So that's where all the fun's going to be for me, is just ripping and shipping it. Aaron Scott, dang, you changed the epic open mouth thumbnail. Yes, I did. I went with more of the cross-eyed one today, because right now the from last week to this week, the title changes just blew my mind how much we've changed in just one short week. It's kind of crazy. People going from great market, everything's hot, to all of a sudden all the bull market people come out because we're seeing a drop in some of the Sword and Shield products. So just really funny. Tom B, where are the reprints? And thanks for joining. Reprints, are you looking for reprints of what? Scarlet and Violet? Because Scarlet and Violet still has plenty of product out there. Some is starting to go away. Scarlet and Violet base set's still available. Paldean Fates is gone. Okay, so yeah, Paldean Fates, Southern Hobby still has Paldean Fates available in booster box form, but ADC or ACD does not. So out of those two distributors, one's out, one's not. Obsidian Flame is gone. None of my distributors have booster boxes. Still ETBs galore, though. There's ETBs of every one of these available out there. Paradox Rift, still readily available. Temporal Forces, still available. It's really not too short on distributors. Walmart's been a little bit more confusing to me than anything, because Walmart has been very, very scarce on the newer sets. Even like now, I can't get Twilight Masquerade or Paradox Rift or Temporal Forces at Walmart right now. I can get Paldean Fates, but I cannot get those 3 sets. There's no sleeve blisters available of those particular sets. So I don't know if it's a sleeve blister problem or if it's a booster. I don't know. Or if it's a MJ Holding problem. If it's Wisconsin doesn't have a distributor problem that's working right. I have no idea. It don't make sense. Because right now, let me just go into just silly. Let me go into Southern Hobby real quick and see. You know, what's the worst thing I can do? I can see what we got going on right now. So, Solar Crown, I can get the pre-orders for that are all up right now. I got my pre-orders for that. The blisters are there. I'm just looking to see what do I got available for case blisters right now. Twilight Masquerade, I can get case blisters of that. I can get Temporal Forces. I can get sleeve blisters of that. Paldean Fates, or not Paldean Fates, Paldea Evolved, Scarlet and Violet base set. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the only one I don't have on here, oh, nope, there's Paradox Rift. So the only one I don't have of Obsidian Flame. The only one that they don't have currently on the listing right now is Obsidian Flame when it comes down to that. So, yeah, and that's just it. It's interesting to me that right now our Walmarts don't have it. But it could be just our Walmarts, too. I mean, it could be a distribution problem more than anything. So, let's see. We got Eric 095. But yeah, to answer your question, Tom, with the reprints, I don't think we're going to be seeing reprints right now because the availability is still there for everything. Southern Hobby pretty much has all booster boxes available right now. I see they even put up Obsidian Flame. Obsidian Flame was gone about a week ago, but now I see that's even back. So I could get any booster box cases right now. I can get any sleeve blisters. I can get any ETBs. There is plenty of product right now without a reprint of any of these products. So I don't see there being a reprint in the near future. Christmas time, we might change. They might throw something out there that's popular. So we might see a Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces. I mean, we might even see a Paldea Evolved reprint at that point. Who knows? Eric 95, it's a FOMO problem. It is. It's very much a FOMO problem right now with the Greninja. I think it's more FOMO than it is manipulation. Son of Merc, my Walmart has Twilight and Temporal, only nothing else, or some V-Star boxes. I got a ton of V-Star boxes right now. V-Star boxes are definitely out there everywhere. What do we got? Glaceon, what we got? We had the Glaceon, the Palkia, the Dialga, the Leafeon. All the V boxes came back in force at Walmart, and I will 100% agree with that one. I don't know why they just all of a sudden just dumped a ton of it. But yeah, you're right. Twilight and Temporal, I don't even have that. I don't have any Twilight or Temporal or Paradox. They do have some Scarlet and Violet base set right now, some Paldea Evolved left over, and then if you dig through there, you might get lucky and find a Obsidian Flame mixed into it. That's up here in northern Wisconsin. Slug Nancy just stopped by the PC and picked up some Paragram Trigger. Don't know what that is. Don't know that one. Sorry, Slug Nancy. Maybe auto-corrected you. Tom B. Even Paldea Evolved for a good price. No 151 anywhere to be found either. There's 2 sets that need to be reprinted pretty bad right now. 151, yeah. I mean, they're going to do another reprint of 151. I can guarantee that right now just because of the popularity of the set. Every time they reprint it, it disappears really quick. I would be very, 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 very shocked if we do not see a reprint of that particular product, for sure. It would blow my mind if we got to that point, if you ask me personally. I'm just looking to see, because I thought I saw Paldea Evolved booster boxes. I'm just checking to make sure I can get Paldea Evolved, because I got Scarlet and Violet, Temporal Forces. I've got Obsidian Flame. I got Paradox. So, yeah, I don't... Okay, there are no Paldea Evolved booster boxes. I thought I saw them in here, but there are no Paldea Evolved booster boxes. Twilight Masquerade. Yeah, I don't have any... and, of course, I've got the Stellar Crown right now, so... Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. There is no Paldea Evolved. And that's one of them I always figured would get reprinted. Oh, okay, I did not know that. Thank you, MC, for the clarification. So yeah, I didn't know that. I did know about the Lost Abyss. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of places doing that. So yeah, thank you, Tom B, for clarifying that. And like Like I said, thank you so much for MC for clarifying that as well. Yeah, haven't seen any Lost Origins on sleeves yet. No, I don't have anything for Sword and Shield. If I go through my stuff right now in wholesale for right now, if I go on my site right now for any kind of Sword and Shield products, there's nothing. I think the only thing that's on here that's Sword and Shield is Silver Tempest ETBs. I can still get Silver Tempest ETBs. Other than that, it is gone. We don't have anything left on these things. So, yep, there's still Silver Tempest ETBs. That is the only thing that's available right now from Distributor for Sword and Shield. So, yeah, it's really disappearing. Also, just so everybody knows it's in here, too, if you check out the Discord, I've been putting up pre-order pricing on this stuff, too. So if you guys are interested in getting some of this product ahead of time and if you got a use for it, I won't be shipping until the week after because I will get it like 2 days before the release. But if you're not looking for it on release day and you're just looking at a good price, I've been kind of selling it at distributor pricing, just at distributor pricing plus shipping. So if you guys are interested in anything, check out the Discord. I'm going to put up the link today for the pre-orders on Stellar Forces too. So, not looking to make any money on it. Just, if you guys want it, just pay the shipping and I'll get it out to you. We got Stellar Crown. Yeah. Man, my booster boxes are expensive now, though. But, yeah, like I said, fun. If you guys are interested, I'll make sure to put that up there as well. I did it for Shrouded Fable. I'm going to be doing it for the next set here as well. Let's see. Yeah, didn't they just reprint Lost Origins in Japan as well? Yeah, they did. It sounds like they reprinted the last couple sets of Sword and Shield in Japan. So I know a bunch of the places I watch for Japanese openings are doing openings of Lost Abyss right now and of the Silver Tempest. So Lost Origins and Silver Tempest in Japan, they are doing openings of it quite a bit right now on TikTok. So they did get a reprint of those two sets. Let's see, where are we at? Got a little bit crazy here. Didn't they reprint? Yes. Slug Nasty, yeah, but haven't seen any Lost Origin on the sleeves yet. Yeah, I haven't gotten any. I mean, I just pulled out one of my boxes I had in storage because a lot of people were asking for it. MC, I think I saw something saying that Paradigm, Trigger, and Lost Abyss reprints were 20-30% of the original print runs of the sets, unless I misunderstood. Probably. Pokemon printed 11.9 billion cards in 2023, so I think that's part of the reason why we haven't seen official reprints yet. It's already printed and sitting in a warehouse. I believe that, Tom B. Just like that, I mean, I see it disappear. So, for example, on Southern Hobby, what was it? Obsidian Flame disappeared for a while. We lost Paradox Rift for a while. Even Temporal Forces was gone for a little bit, and now they must have got another shipment of it in. They got more of it from someplace because now it's available. So, yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. More than anything is that they printed a ton of it. They printed 11.9 billion cards. They went up another almost 3 billion cards printed last year, which is a crazy amount when you actually think about it. But they did also open up 3 new markets, plus they were trying to catch up with that Chinese market. Now they're caught up with that Chinese market. They want to keep them printers running, guys, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Japanese reprints, especially of the early sets of the Scarlet and Violet era, and then also, I know they must have done a Scarlet and Violet reprint as well, because I know that showed up and the pricing is really low on that. Yeah, imagine the numbers for 2024. The problem is I don't know how much more that they can increase unless they open up more markets. And that's going to be the real question is, they are opening up a new Pokemon Center in New Guinea and in Australia, I believe, which is going to be another interesting turn to see if they're fighting or trying to get into those new markets as well. Yeah, Incandescent Arcanine, okay. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just something to consider. I mean, they're trying to open up new markets. They're trying to expand. And if they continue to expand, that's definitely going to be a factor for how much they continue to print. And if they open up New Guinea market, or if they open up another, can you imagine if they opened up like the India market? Can you imagine what that would, how much they would have to print to really satisfy an India market when it comes down to that? Plus, there's a lot of Central American markets that they just have not opened. I know that they do a Spanish version, but they don't really push to that Central America either. And there's beginning to be more and more popularity. One Piece is very popular there, as we talked to FOMO along with Yu-Gi-Oh! But if they were to really start pushing Pokemon in those areas as well and make it available, that could be a really interesting factor as well. 1 box per person on the is 5 box limit. So yeah, they must have printed quite a bit less of the one and quite a bit more of the other one, or they just found more in storage and pulled it out and just reprinted some of the other one to get some interest. You know, they can do things like that as well. So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, thank you so much for joining me here on this Tuesday night. It's glad to have you here. Glad to see everybody as normal. We're going to be continuing to kind of be here about 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, so that's going to be continuing. I might try and either I'm going to always do a video later in the week, or I will do a live. So I haven't decided which way I want to go with that. I'm kind of enjoying the lives and having a discussion, because it's really nice to be able to hear what you guys are really looking for, and then I can tailor the video to be able to adjust for that. And thank you, Tom B, for being here too. Nice to see you. I know you've made comments throughout time on the videos, but it's nice to see you here in the lives. And like I said, I want to be consistent now that baseball season's done. It's really going to be easier for me to be consistent. So that's going to be a nice thing too. Now that we're through that, we had our tournament last weekend. So on Saturday, we had our final baseball tournament. The kids took 3rd place, which was really awesome for the coaching side to get our kids in the 3rd, especially with a young team. Here we have 2 teams. You got 8 and under, 8 to 4, and then you got 9 to 12. So a lot of our kids are in that 9 to 10-year-old range. So it's going to be really nice. We're going to have a really good team here in the next couple of years. We only lost 2 kids this year off the team. So really, really fun. Just been nice to spend time with the kids. I also have a video where I've been going to be talking about like cards that I've been buying too. I've got like these sitting here set up that I'm going to be doing a video on those. So either you'll get the video on those, or we'll be doing a live here later in the week. Just kind of enjoying the live content, to be honest, and just hearing what you guys are looking for, and having these discussions, being able to, you know, just like the Greninja, talk it through. You know, why would the price of that be so high? A lot of times you try and do this in a video and you miss something, and then you have the discussion. People have questions on why you got that there, and it's really, really good. Really, really good to do that. So kind of fun. So overall, really good chat. Just hopping on. How's it going? Pretty good, Snowgoon. Thank you for joining us. We were just closing up here for the evening. We are going to be on here from 9 to 10. That's kind of my win. It's going to be the slot from now on. I'm going to keep it there just because baseball's done, so now I can be sure I'm here at 9. So once again, we're going to be trying to just relax in here from 9 to 10. Later in the week, I'm either going to be doing a video, or I'm going to be doing a live later in the week. So either probably Thursday, I'll either do a live or a video, just to keep the algorithm happy. I want to kind of keep working on this with you guys, and then I kind of like the live so we can continue to have these aspects. Pokestokes. We need to buy out the Silver Tempest Pokemon booster boxes on Pokemon Center. The Silver Tempest booster boxes need to go, but I don't think there's much left of that one either. I mean, it's disappearing pretty quick. I think the problem is then you get something like this where you get a chasing something else and everybody loses attention and kind of focuses on that. So that's a real factor as well. But it would be nice if it would sell out. Be good to get that one last Sword and Shield booster box off the off Pokemon Center. Be cool. End of an era to see that go away. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. Once again, if you got any questions, put them in the comments. If you want something answered, that's something I'm going to tell you too. If you want something that you want more detailed answers for, or maybe you want to hear a rant on, or maybe my reasoning on it, put it in the comments of this live, and then I will use it for the next live, so we can continue to kind of build on these lives every single time. So make sure you put that in the comments as well. Once again, if you do want to support the channel, check out the membership as well. Great way to support the channel. Get some cool emojis as a bonus for doing so. Last but not least, as FOMO usually puts up, and I know he put it up earlier in the chat, make sure you guys check out the merch too. Another good way to support the channel. Have a little bit of fun with your Northwoods TCG merch. Other than that, thank you guys, everybody that's joined in this evening. As always, thank you, Stokes, for jumping in here at the end, and also Snowgoon. Glad to see you here in the chat as always. Appreciate everybody that comes in. MC as well, along with Son of a Merc. Tom B, glad to see you here for the first time. And just seeing all the familiar faces is nice to see every single Tuesday. Other than that, If you wanted to have some fun and join us, and if you're looking for particular packs, make sure you check out the Discord if you're looking for the newest products. That we'll be putting them up for you as well. Other than that, thank you guys, everybody, for joining in. And as always, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notify. And we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.